Oh, man. This is a controlled demolition of the coal conveyor at Crystal River Energy Complex, carefully planned for safety.
I have a strong feeling that Fox is going to regret making this post. The Mark Sanchez situation is getting crazy. So if you don't know, Mark Sanchez is a former NFL quarterback. He is an NFL commentator, which is like a pretty big job, like very high paying. Everyone knows who Mark Sanchez is, who follows sports. Sports aside, this case is wild. So what happened was Mark allegedly, all this is alleged, okay? Allegedly, Mark was drunk at midnight at a hotel, and for whatever reason, he gets into an altercation with a guy who was, I guess he was like swapping like oil, like grease traps or something for the restaurant.
I thought he was an Uber worker.
But he's a 69-year-old guy working at midnight. There's no reason for Mark Sanchez and this guy to be talking at all. There's no reason for Mark Sanchez to be behind this hotel, allegedly.
Jeff Creation want to usurp the authority of God, push Moloch, push Rimfam, and want to control every aspect of your life and issue you the ticket to salvation, which is what Jesus preached against. So I can't think it's anything else but that, man.
Something feels wrong about all this stuff, because you know anything that they offer up to the public is certainly not going to be good. If they offer up immortality to the public, you know that's good. That's more like a, you know, a Ghostbuster trap. Oh yeah, man. That's like you're trapped in a hard drive forever. You've sold your soul to something. It's like doors are closing all around us to keep us corralled inside of this Coliseum here. So it's scary to start putting it all together, because you start running out of explanations that really soothe you. You know, not very few soothing explanations.
Everything is cultivated by sacred geometry. Sacred geometry corresponds with geomancy. Geomancy is how you lay out certain geographical locations where you want to put certain buildings and monolithic structures on certain ley lines to block out energy. So the churches that you see on certain places and certain liquor stores and McDonald's and Burger King over here, they put them in certain places strategically to block out energy because they know it corresponds with the firmament. It's being used as a mechanism to block the solar transmission that's coming to the planet. So instead of using your energy to go outside and get the sun, they want you to go to church on Sunday and go inside the temples and give, you know, your vitality and your life force to something that's outside of yourself.
And let the church say amen.
I know, right?
All the comedians that support the death of this is the Riyadh Comedy Festival being held in Saudi Arabia. And I'm going to explain to you why this is beyond fucked up and is inhuman in a minute, but basically it's like going to Israel and putting on a show personally for that fucking Yahoo right now. And there are comedians who have not sold their soul, like Atsko Katska, that denied the offer. And even though she scratched out the offer, I've heard that the offer was upwards of $390,000. But this is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. And spoiler alert, he is not a good person. Here are just a few of his crimes against humanity. For instance, he murders journalists that oppose any of his views. This was journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who regularly criticized the Crown Prince, and he was in Istanbul, Turkey, going to the Saudi embassy so that he could finalize his divorce from his wife, and he just disappeared. And 15 days later, the embassy came on, they're like, oh yeah, he died. He tried to get into a fist fight with someone and lost his life. What? He regularly just disappears women who are fighting for their basic rights, but this right here, this war in Yemen, that's his worst. The best correlation is they are doing the same thing that Israel is doing to Palestinians in Gaza. They are indiscriminately doing this to civilians, hospitals, schools, where children are literally taking tens of thousands of lives, displacing millions more. In fact, the UN literally called Yemen the world's worst humanitarian crisis up until now. And these spineless fascists decided that taking $390,000 was worth the blood that they are standing on to make that money. And just like Atsuko said, the majority of all of these comedians are the same comedians who cry about, he can't say anything anymore, as they literally sign a contract that stipulates that artists shall not prepare or perform any material that may be considered to degrade the fame or bring into public disrepute, contempt, scandal, embarrassment, or ridicule the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, including its leadership. And just in case that wasn't clear enough, specifically the Saudi royal family or their religious figures. So the next time any of these cowards say, you can't say anything anymore, bring that up. And side note, there is no one on here that I support. The ones that I did, I stopped supporting them a long time ago, but I fucking knew Bill Burr was going to be there. There was this one time where I was at a comedy club and I was front row center, and he was opening for someone else, and he put me to sleep, and he fucking crashed out his whole set. Oh, by the way, almost every single one of them has children, so it's not like they shouldn't know what they're doing is fucking wrong.
One wing spread, and both guys ran for their lives. This safari ride just turned into an unforgettable memory. Towers that once powered the city now end their life cycle in a spectacular finale. This is a showcase of modern demolition engineering. Everything calculated down to the very second. From this angle, the sky looks like a gateway to heaven, revealing both the power and beauty of nature. Floods like this often occur when intense rainfall overwhelms the drainage systems. In just minutes, the muddy floodwaters turn the street into a raging river, sweeping everything along.
The shock's coming.
Papua New Guinea sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, home to over 60 active volcanoes. Scientists constantly monitor this region because of the serious risks to nearby coastal communities.
And this photo. Now, if you don't know, the Rothschild family is literally one of the richest families in the world, like worth trillions. And I've done several videos talking about how they got their money, but basically they're this noble banking family that has been like super rich since the 16th century. They used to throw these elaborate balls each year. And some people got this picture and said that this is a picture of the family at one of the balls, and that this this figure right here was allegedly the nanny. The nanny is 7 feet tall? Yeah, okay. Then some people said that is absolutely not the nanny, that might be the guest of honor. Might not even be human. But anyway, let's get into this ball, y'all. Basically, they would have it at this chateau in France. It was owned by Marie Rothschild and her husband Baron de Guy de Rothschild, something like that. They would have all kinds of elaborate parties. Like the wife loved to host. But when they went to the surrealist theme, y'all, it got real. So they made their chateau that was like, I'm talking about like Renaissance theme, one of the oldest and biggest chateaus in the area. And like, I'm talking about like so beautiful. They made it appear like it was like hell. Like it looked like the house was on fire. And as you're walking up, you'll see these like big cat-like men, like literally dressed up like they're human cats, laying on the steps. Then they'll just get up and greet you because they're the butlers, yep, cat butlers, with all kinds of cobwebs and spiders hanging out for you to be scared out of your mind. Then like the plates that was like taxidermic tortoises on a bed of roses. The forks was made out of dead fish, and the tables was like covered in real life animal fur. Like, it was weird. I guess that's the whole point of the surrealist theme, because it's basically like this artistic and cultural movement that started around the 1920s, primarily in France. It's basically like different elements of art and literature and all that good stuff combined, and it's supposed to be really cool. But yeah, here's some more pictures of, you know, the things that people wore and did at this ball. Yeah, very interesting to me. Let me know what y'all think, and if y'all would ever attend a Rothschild's.
Do you remember 1994, summer of 1994, July, when 21 objects of a fragmented comet plunged into Jupiter? Shoemaker leaving 9. This was at the time the most watched astronomical event in history. Here's what happened. This thing is out there, picture. It's circling, going into the sun, going back out, going behind Jupiter and coming back in. It's a big elliptical orbit. Each time it's going out there to Jupiter, Jupiter's gravity is pulling it in closer and closer. Jupiter's gravity field is so powerful that it literally ripped a single comet nucleus into 21 pieces. And that's what you're seeing here, the so-called string of pearls. Now, astronomers can predict orbits if they know what are called the orbital elements. And so it took 3 months of observations, and you've got enough of the ellipse, the orbital ellipse, to reconstruct the whole ellipse. You've also got data on the velocity. So when you put that together into your models with the other orbital elements, you can now make predictions. And so after they discovered this thing just after it's coming around behind Jupiter and in the early stages of breaking apart, and then realized that where it was going to cross Jupiter's orbit, Jupiter was going to be right in that spot. In the second week of July 1994, these 21 pieces were going to fall into Jupiter.
Things just got very real between Mexico, the cartels, and the United States. So it's all over Mexican media news right now that the cartels put up a banner around Los Cabos, Baja California, Mexico, and they put up a banner calling out Cash Patel, saying that in direct retaliation to him seizing some of their stuff. I guess they had big shipments or something, and he seized them. In retaliation, they're going to be, the Americans that are in that area are going to be direct targets. So any American that lives in that area of Mexico is going to be a direct target for the retaliation. And now they're saying basically any American in Mexico. So any parts of Mexico is what a lot of other sources are saying. And basically they're saying they're mad because they're saying we run the shots.
Today, message further stated that every American citizen who resides in Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo, it is being targeted, declaring, we are the ones who call the shots and we are the ones in charge.
So this just happened today. I haven't heard any kind of response from our side, but I'm sure we're going to be hearing something soon. But definitely keep the Americans in our prayers. We pray for their safety and that God protects them.
Accepting $375K of blood money for the Riyadh Comedy Festival. And John McEnroe, in the 1980s, the tennis pro, was offered a lot of money to play a tennis match in apartheid South Africa and refused because it was apartheid South Africa. We are so fucking far from that. We are so far. And the thing is like this, I've said it before, like, accepting money from people who are sketchy is one thing, but if there actually are no conditions put on it, you know, to me, I don't really care. Like, when you go over there, you're going to make Jamal Khashoggi jokes, you're going to make 9/11 jokes, you're going to make jokes about Mohammed bin Salman. Like, what restrictions have they put on you to do this? And of course, it's all designed to turn Riyadh into something that they're trying to like prime the pump to make it this entertainment destination in the Middle East. But for folks who don't know, Saudi Arabia has been engaging in their own, I don't know if it qualifies as genocide, but a pretty horrible murder campaign against the people of Yemen, like to say nothing else of any number of different forms of culpability. And it's not just you're performing in there at the behest of the government. Like the government is paying you. People just don't care anymore, dude.
That's crazy.
People just don't care. Nobody has
morals.
Nobody who believes in anything anymore, it seems like. Did you see Tim Dillon's disgusting rant about accepting $375K in blood money for rehab crime?
So nobody is talking about this, and that's because they don't want people to know. Y'all, the IRS just quietly closed its doors. And the only reason why I know about it is because my sister works there, and she called us to let us know that she just worked her last shift. She told me that they were supposed to stay open till around the 15th or until funding got sorted. Remember, Congress is trying to find a way to fund the government right now. But today, after her last shift, click. They locked the doors. So here I am scouring the internet to find some videos for you guys. I can't find one legit videos, no media coverage whatsoever. I just come across this one guy. He's an IRS agent who's helping his client file some taxes. And the surprise on his look when he came up to the building, find out they were closed, y'all, priceless. So something is going on out there that people don't want us to know, y'all. The IRS just shut down.
Good morning. Here's today's update from your Super Agent Logan. I'm down here at the IRS helping out one of my clients that needs some extra paperwork done, and we're having issues getting people on the phone. I know the IRS was open yesterday, and she came down in person, but as of today, as of 5 a.m. this morning, the IRS is officially closed. So if you have any transactions that you're working with the IRS on, or if you have any personal things you're working with on the IRS, they are closed. So be patient as the government figures out what they're going to do and opens back up.
Now, I don't know what's going on out there, but all of these major hands of the government shutting down the same time that the government is shutting down and they can't figure out what's going on, y'all, something big is around the corner. And then I just found out that there's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. that people aren't speaking of as well. I'm going to come back and do another video on that. But did y'all know this, y'all? The shift is here. I've been telling y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let me know what you guys think about this video.
For a long time after working in psych for over 7 years, that theory is that these patients with hallucinations about the FBI being after them, about cameras being everywhere, microphones being everywhere. Look at the technology around us these days. They're kind of right. Patients with grandiose hallucinations that robots are going to take over the world. I can't tell you how many patients I've talked to about the whole artificial intelligence thing and how that's going to take over the world. Like, actually, if I put the conversations that they were having with me at that time to where we have fastly moved till today, it would make for a very good podcast episode. But if you take us back to that time and listen, it would make for a very good psychiatric evaluation. To me, I feel like the world changes so much, so fast, that I can't possibly think about the things that we don't know or that our government doesn't share with us. Like, apparently the CIA has had technological advancements since the 60s where they can point a microphone as small as a ballpoint pen across the street to a building and hear a full-fledged conversation with crisp clarity. Now, I'll never forget one run-in I had with a lady who said that she felt the FBI was after her. There are cameras in her house. She felt like she was being watched. She was an older lady. She had stopped bathing herself. She wasn't sleeping well. So it's only, logical to believe she's having a psychological break. However, and some of you might have heard this story before if you've been following me. Shout out to all my newbies, though. It was crazy when she actually came onto the unit. There were men that showed up in suits who identified as the FBI about a day or two after she had come to the unit. And our supervisor came to us and said, hey, we need you to pull this patient's charts immediately. We need to hand it over to these authorities. We're not allowed to ask any questions. And they grabbed this lady up and they escorted her out of the unit. And she just looked defeated. And she was looking back at the staff like, I told y'all fools. She was senile and whatnot. But, if I'm imagining that everything she's saying was right, and she was losing sleep for the right reasons of being followed and came in to be evaluated and to be housed so she doesn't have to worry about being followed, and she actually got taken out by the FBI, like out of our unit. Like, this is the society we live in, man. What will the patients of the future look like? Because so far, they kind of
about what's coming for October. The gist of it is that during this government shutdown, our government and our military may have dropped the ball in a huge security risk, because not only one, but 3 reputable sources have told me that there is a huge threat planned for October 7th. Atlas 3I, from the last update we've gotten from NASA before their site was shut down, was that Atlas 3I's mega asteroid that is apparently not natural is about to go near our sun. It's about to be slingshotting around our sun. It could make contact. You know what else that people are predicting? Is that it could travel and hit Mars, or it could travel and hit Earth. And we have lost contact or lost updates from NASA. So with all these updates from National Guard, from NASA, from Harvard, we are on our own here. And the last thing that they did report to the public was that there is 400 little cluster-sized objects around Atlas 3I. Explain that.
Owns LeBron James, Kylie Irving, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Shai G, Nikola Jokic, and all these people. Who owns the NBA?
Their top sponsor is Nike, the same company that dropped Kyrie Irving and Grace Tame for pro-Palestinian posts.
Their commissioner is Adam Silver, who pushed the BLM message, Hong Kong message,
but then apologized for putting Palestine on the NBA's website.
Cleveland Cavaliers is owned by the largest mortgage lender, Dan Gilbert.
The biggest lobbying family in the States, and Mark Cuban Chabinsky owns the Mavericks.
Atlanta Hawks is owned by credit lender Eris Management, which is owned by Anthony Kessie.
Guess what everyone has in common?
And why Drake can play, but not me.